So I thought I'd just do a live build today. Something really simple. I saw a post on LinkedIn that basically talked about pulling data from your call recorder. So we use Fathom, for example, pulling that data and then pushing it into Slack with like a summary, ICP pain points, blah, 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 like all that kind of stuff. So I figured instead of, because I was like, I've been wanting to build something like that for us just like really quickly. And again, you can always build this stuff in Clay with workflows and stuff like that. Like it just works just as well. But I'm trying to become more native with Claude Code and AI and everything. So I'm trying to build from that perspective first. But the logic is all the same. So I want to just do a live thing. It's super simple. Like it's a simple type of build, right? It's just quite literally a webhook to pull the data from as soon as a call recording finishes, pull the data, get a summary, and get that into Slack, basically, right? Super simple. But I wanted to build it in Claude Code and show you how to do it like live. So there's going to be some tinkering and stuff because I've not actually done this. I'm building this like literally live. So this is just kind of the process of what I do. So here you'll see there's an image. So I've got a new folder here anyways, or a new project. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quite literally get the how to test webhook via terminal, blah, 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 some documentation on how to do this. Or the webhook side of things. It might not even be the correct one, but it's just I'm going to paste it in here. And then all I'm going to do is quite literally just talk to it and just say like, so there's an image here. There's here from help, the Fathom's help support docs on how to create like the webhook and stuff. And essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to talk to it. And the image has is just a post from LinkedIn, just basically talks through the workflow. I'm just going to give some more context, say this is what I want to build. We're going to probably deploy the webhook itself on, so I believe Fathom would have it has to obviously go somewhere. So the URL for the webhook would be deployed on Railway. And then from there, that's what we'll receive it. Then we'll pass the information. Once we pass the information, create a summary, etc. That will use probably like a Haiku or something to do that, right? So you just need an Anthropic API key to connect that bit, and then that would go to Slack, right? That's the way that I at least understand it. If someone has a better way of doing it, then I'm all ears as well. So I'm just going to talk to it. So I'd like to basically build a really simple workflow that takes my call recordings from Fathom. So every time a call finishes, we have a webhook that goes from Fathom. We probably have to deploy something on Railway. We have an account on Railway already. So something goes there, webhook. And then what I would like is essentially there's a picture here with a LinkedIn post that essentially talks about like the general workflow that I would want to build here. So it's pretty simple. It's just quite literally webhook, pass the information, analyze the information, and create a summary essentially, and then just create a nice blocked, nicely formatted summary that then will go to Slack. So I'll share the Slack channel with you, and I would just like to build that out. That would be awesome. So let's just create a little plan around this first, and then let's just create a structure, how it would look like, what we need, and everything. And how we can just do this so that every time I have a call that finishes, it very simply just has a webhook from Fathom, the call recording, and then that goes into Slack. And then in Slack, we just have a summary and basically an analysis. So we have summary analysis plus the link as well if we're able to get that from the data. That would be fantastic. And yeah, just very similar to what the image describes there. Cool. So now that I've pasted that, I'm just going to stick it in plan mode and then just paste that. And then just wait, basically, and let it do its thing. It will create a plan. I usually will structure things with a plan first so that it has a proper way of approaching things. It might ask you a couple of questions or whatever it is, but yeah. So the reason why I just want to make this is, number one, it's quite a simple thing, but number two, sometimes, and I'll do this with my co-founder or sales, sometimes there's a bottleneck of asking for information from calls and things like that. So it's much easier if we just have a little summary so I can just look at it on Slack, see what's happened, what the call was about, and then just easily create action points and stuff from there. So that's kind of the reasoning behind it. So I'm just going to pause it whilst it's doing its thing and just thinking about the problem, and then return in just a second. Cool. So as we're going through, as it's creating the plan, it will start to have a couple of questions. These questions will pop up. So should we add Fathom webhook handler as a new route on the existing railway deployment alongside the strategy doc, or would you prefer a separate add to existing recommended? Yeah. So because I've already set up a few things, I don't need to basically add any other like info bits. So I'll just click on one. Let me just go back. Oops. Cool. Let's try again. So press number one. Claude reanalyzes past the full transcripts of Claude to generate a richer summary, key takeaway sentiments, more tailored than just Fathom's default. Yes. On number one there. And then which channel, existing channel, use an existing channel. And I will share the ID. And then Fathom API key. Not sure why this is taking so long. Do you already have a Fathom? Yes. Do we need to set it up? Yes, I have. We'll get one. Cool. And then submit the answers. So now it will then generate the plan. And whilst waiting for the plan, I'll get the API key. Cool. So I just made the API key super simple here, and then I copy paste it over there. So I'm not gonna go and switch over until the API key is out of the shot. But generally speaking, it's just working now in the background, and I'll continue in just a second now that it's got the API key. If you're doing this completely from scratch, you would just need your Anthropic API key. So just create an Anthropic account, or go in there, get the API key, copy paste it. Like, it really is that simple. And then for Railway as well, just create an account, and then once you've got an account, again, if you ever get stuck with any of this kind of stuff and you're not sure and you're trying to troubleshoot, literally a screenshot, paste it over to Claude Code, and just say, stuck here, what's next? Please, like, help me out. I don't know technical jargon or whatever it is, and just tell me step by step what I need to do. It is by far the best and easiest way to get through when you're stuck on anything technical whatsoever if you don't understand it. So that's my main recommendation there. Cool. So it's now just designing plan here, so you can just see it is now, just doing its thing. It's designing things, and give it a second, and then once it's done, it will either give me the full plan, or it will then start building things out, right? So we just got to wait a little bit. But yeah, personally, I prefer working with this kind of interface. Of course, you could build all this. This is very simple into automation. You could build this with Make, Zapier, NAN, like Clay, etc. Like, they're all very simple and other ways that you could do this. It's just I personally prefer, and it's so much more enjoyable to build it with Claude Code, because you kind of have an idea. And it's like, this is what I want to do, and this is how I want to build it. And I know those platforms now have a bit more AI native where you can talk to it and stuff, but I have a preference of building it there. It's just my preference. How it looks like at scale, that's something that will need to learn about over time. But right now, I'm just sort of building things that I find enjoyment in and sharing them, basically. So we'll just give it a second whilst it does the plan. Cool. So now what you'll see is, here's the plan that it's given me. So it's going to have a bit of context. Here's the architecture. Here's what I'm going to be pulling, what I'm going to be doing, etc., etc. I'm not going to scroll all the way down because I've got my API keys there. But yeah, basically this will show kind of the full plan, essentially. So this is kind of how it'll be structured, what it's going to look like, etc., etc. And then what's going to happen after that is you literally clear the context and allow it to start building. It'll give you an option. You just click that and then let it run, right? Now, again, like I said, you can automate all of this stuff with tools already. It's just I find it quite a bit more enjoyable to talk things into existence rather than click things around and stuff. And for example, if you want something changed, it's quite easy to just say, like, it will build the draft, it will build the version, you can run a test, and then you can say, like, no, I didn't like this bit. Can we just tweak this a little bit? And it's like much easier to go back and forth, which is why I prefer it. And then obviously for other processes, you can kind of think about how this might be structured. And then what I would do afterwards, I would save this to GitHub. So yeah, what I'm going to do is just I'm going to pause it, and then afterwards we'll come back and we'll have a look and see what it's built out, basically. Cool. So after a little bit of tinkering back and forth, here's the sort of draft version, basically. So summary, host, contact, company, duration. And then we've got a summary here, which is great. And then we've got key takeaways, sentiment, decisions made, next steps, notable quotes, blah, 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 follow up required. Now, obviously, you can tweak this however you want to tweak it. I've asked it to just tag everyone in the channel here. And then also the other thing that you can also get it to do, so I've got Claude Code and a to-do list management system in Superbase that I can set up in here and basically keep track of everything. So I just post like my daily to-dos and stuff in Slack and so on. So I can basically set this up so that any to-dos for any meetings that I'm involved in specifically, it then can go and create to-do action items and add them to that list, basically, so I can keep on top of it and stuff like that. So, and you can look at other ways that you can set this up. So you can push this to Asana, to whatever you've got, right? Like however you want to do it, to Notion, etc. And again, like this isn't right. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. There's a million ways of doing it. It's just, I just wanted to build something and kind of show you like this is the thought process. The bit that not that I haven't shown it, but was just basically it, like working. I went back and forth with it, I think like once. So yeah, it's super simple. Like literally, it will give you the instructions. You just have to follow the things if it needs you to do anything. The only thing that I did set up was with Railway. So when I say Railway, it's like a railway.com, allows you to like deploy things. But basically, I just set up the MCP server for that. So quite literally just say, oh, can we set up the MCP server for Railway? It will go and check it and then just say, can you set it up, please? And done. And then you just have to copy paste your API key from there. And then moving forward now, if you ever need to deploy anything, it can just handle all of that side of things on Railway, and it's really inexpensive. So this is kind of what it looks like. Again, you can tweak this however you want to tweak it. This is just a draft of it. And I will go back and forth with it a little bit, but I just want to show this is how you would build something just by speaking to Claude Code. Usually just a little example. So, which is why sometimes when I scroll on LinkedIn, I can see something that someone's built. And I'm like, that's quite cool. Let me try and replicate it myself, screenshot it, and then just build, basically. So, yeah, that's kind of the process of it. It's relatively simple, and obviously it can get more complicated as you go along. So, you know, if I watch a YouTube video that is 10 minutes long, and I like the way someone's built something, and I'm like, that could be quite interesting for us, and that could solve this particular problem for us. I would take the transcript and I'll go in and I'll say, this is what I'm trying to build, and then give my own ideas. This is what I think we could do with it. This is just some fundamentals, or just like from a transcript. Can you help me build this? And then you go into plan mode, you go back and forth with it for a little bit, and then you basically say, yes, it runs, does the whole thing. Then you check it, give it any feedback, and then it's a little bit of an iterative loop, right? But that's basically it. So now, moving forward, any call I have or my co-founder has, for example, well, literally summaries will just go in here. Super simple. And then we can now keep track of it. And there's no like, oh, could you send me the recording for this thing? Or could you do this thing? Or whatever. It's all here. Very simple. So yeah, I hope you got some value from that. If you need help building out these kinds of automations, then that's something that we can do. Obviously, this is a really simple one, but if you've seen other videos that we've done, we can help out with any kind of GTM automations, basically, around that side of things, as well as also helping out with your go-to-market too. So yeah, hope you got some value. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.